Hey guys, it is Zuramaru, and today I just wanted to take a minute and kind of just talk about Hasunosora's newest members, Izumi and Ceras. So if you are new to Hasunosora's school idol club, that is the latest entry in the Love Live franchise other than Love Live Bluebird, but because nothing has really been released on it, I am not really considering it their latest group. So each group has its own kind of vibe, and Hasunosora definitely stands out the most, probably with them being more unit-focused and, on top of that, virtual idols. But the biggest difference between them and other groups is that this is the first time Love Live has ever actually graduated and replaced both characters and the actors alike, which was Megumi, Suzuki, and Kozue were the characters that graduated, with Kona, Nina, and Kotoko graduating alongside with them. And this is why it's so important that the 105th generation was supposed to really represent that next chapter, and it just, in my opinion, did not really land the way it should have. So when the new members were announced as Ceras and Izumi, I wasn't shocked. I was basically sold on the idea that Ceras would join the group. She had just way too much visual appeal and story potential to just stay a rival forever. And once they confirmed that the second years would also be getting a new member, it was pretty clear that Izumi was going to be the pick, as Love Live has recently had a trend of having the rivals join the eventual group, and so it was pretty clear that she was going to be the pick. So no, I was not surprised in the least, but I was disappointed because I really thought we'd still get other characters, some actual new faces. The 105th class had the opportunity to breathe new life into the group. These girls were essentially taking the place of 3 original, well-developed characters, and that is a big deal. And personally, I was really hoping we'd just get 3 new first years, 1 for each of the subunits. Hasunosora is subunit focused, and with Megumi, Suzuki, and Kozue gone, Cerise Bouquet, Dorchestra, and Mirror Part just all feel really incomplete. And not to diss the members who are still in the group, but the first years, or I guess the now second years and now third years, they just don't blend well together. Adding 1 new first year to each group would have just made a lot of sense, and it's what I thought that they were going to be doing, and it really could have helped just keep the balance that these groups had created, but also introduced new energy and new dynamics, and to also carry forward the subunits in a meaningful way. Instead, we only got 1 new first year, 1 second year, and now a 4th subunit in the mix, which just really complicates things more than it helps. It feels like we're patching holes rather than building a stronger foundation. And what makes it even more frustrating is that Hasunosora doesn't even have an anime. The only way to experience their story is through the mobile game, which is only available in Japan. So for global fans, our access is, for these characters, it's already super limited. Ceras and Izumi had 1 song together, Adelaide, but even that still has not been officially released, which I'm just going to be assuming that it's probably going to be releasing with the Dream Believers album that we're going to get, where each group typically has their 1 debut song. And that song was really their 1 big moment as rivals, and it's practically locked behind a region wall with no full version we can properly enjoy, so instead of getting a chance to connect with them, we were left with fragments with no real story, no accessible content, and no music release to really just bridge that gap, and then suddenly they are in the main group. And we're supposed to be excited. That is definitely a hard ask. And the thing is, I love rival characters. Saint Snow and Sunshine? To this day, they are still my favorite rival group that Love Live is ever introduced. Sunny Passion I was less interested in, but I still felt like they were very polished, and I accepted them, and I was still interested in them as a group. And we don't even need to really talk about Margaret, because she basically just stole the show in every scene she was in. She was graceful, intimidating, and had actual depth beneath her seeming perfection. But Ceras and Izumi, they just really didn't leave that kind of impact on me personally, and I already know that it is a little more difficult to really enjoy Hasu's story. Not only are their episodes like an hour long each, so that doesn't leave me a lot of time to really be able to enjoy their story. But what makes it more confusing for me is how they're kind of being positioned. They're both being promoted as part of the new 105th class, but in reality, that's only true for Ceras. She is the actual first year. Izumi is joining the second years, which places her in the 104th class with the other remaining members. So while they're being paired up as the new members, they're not even part of the same school year. And it just feels really mismatched, for a better word, I guess. And I had also watched the live stream that was introducing them, and it kind of confirmed just a handful of my feelings. The whole thing felt very awkward. Now, there was this obvious gap in energy and presence compared to when Megumi, Kozue, and Suzuri were part of the cast. You know, there was a lot of natural warmth and a lot of fun chemistry. You know, we obviously saw this get built up over 2 years, and you could really feel how close the girls were. And it just didn't feel like that, and I get it. Building chemistry takes time, but the shift in how distant they felt between then and now was honestly just really hard to ignore, and it really emphasized just how big the shoes are that Ceras and Izumi are expected to fill. Alright, now I just wanted to kind of take a little bit off of the negativity. I wasn't trying to intend for this video to come out as negative as it's turning out to be, but I did want to take a time just to kind of look at the character designs of Izumi and Ceras and kind of talk about the information that we know about them, which of course is coming from Idol Story and the Love Live wiki. So any little fun facts about them will be coming from those two sources. Alright, so starting off with Ceras Yanagida Lilienfeld. I already know that I completely butchered her name, but her design is absolutely gorgeous. She has like this really soft fairy tale like vibe. Silver white wavy hair, light blue eyes, and then those little pink ribbons behind her ears. It's such a small detail, but it really pulls the whole look together. She just feels very elegant, like she kind of just stepped out of a classic storybook, and honestly, she hands down has one of my favorite designs in Hasunosora. It's very simple, but as I always like to say, simplicity is key. She is a first year part of the 105th class, voiced by Mayake Miu. I hope I said that right, and her voice totally fits that soft, elegant vibe. Ceras spent a lot of her childhood in the hospital where she met Kaho, who became her closest friend. And she's a little clingy, considered and called kind of dramatic. She loves horror movies and plays the violin. Even if I'm iffy on how she joined, I can't lie, I really like her. And I wanted to say that skills of hers includes imitating others and killing time. Her favorite food is parfaits and dumplings and caramel-flavored things. Moving on to Izumi, she's a second year who transferred into Hasunosora in the 105th term, and honestly, she is kind of a powerhouse. She's won awards for acting, took first place in a national fencing competition, and placed first in a programming. She's kind of just good at everything. She met Ceras on a rainy day, heard her whole Save the School by Winning Love Live story, and just instantly agreed to help. She literally transferred schools just for that. And apparently her entire reason for living now is to make Ceras' dream come true. It's a lot, so hopefully we get to learn more about that. But she's got this cool, mature vibe, cat-like amber eyes, and her hair is described as a sharp jellyfish mullet, and 2 little hair clips on the side. She's voiced by Shindo Amane, who you might also know as Mashiro Kurita from Bang Dreams Morphonica. And that casting is insane because the range on that girl is all I have to say. She even calls herself One-san, which is kind of funny considering how young she actually is. But the only thing is that I still haven't really connected with her. Her design isn't bad, but it doesn't really stand out much either. In fact, she looks a little too similar to Ginko for my tastes. Same dark color scheme, same kind of energy. And that overlap just makes her feel a lot more forgettable in a group that really needs a much stronger visual contrast right now. Even though she's incredibly talented, there's no denying that both character and voice actress alike are very skilled. It doesn't feel like there's much emotional weight behind it yet. She wins everything, but from what I've witnessed through the stories is that she doesn't seem to really enjoy it. She gives advice, but we don't really know what she wants beyond helping Ceras, so I really do hope they can expand on that. Now, even though I do actually really like Ceras' design, and I think she adds a really good mix to the group, the truth is both her and Izumi just look really dull. They don't visually pop the way Love Live characters normally do, and that is a problem. The group has now lost a ton of color and vibrancy, especially after the graduation of Kozue and Suzuri in particular. Kozue had that beautiful lavender purple hair with a striking red and green hair ornament. She was vibrant and she had a very unforgettable character design. And Suzuri had white hair with pinkish red highlights decorated with star motifs. Her design practically sparkled with personality. Now, most of the remaining group has very natural looking hair colors, and it's thrown off the group's visual balance. The only one who really stands out anymore is Hime, who has bright pink hair with yellow tips. But the thing is, with Kozue and Suzuri gone, Hime now stands out too much, and not in a good way. Instead of being part of a colorful, dynamic ensemble, she now looks almost out of place, like a single burst of color in a sea of muted tones. Even Sayaka, who technically has blue hair, has a shade so dark that it can practically be read as black. The only saving grace is that Rurino is there to take a little bit of the attention off of her with her brighter blonde hair and blue highlights. Now, even though I feel that this video was a little bit more negative than I wanted it to be, I have a lot of hope for these two. I'm sure that they will grow into great and meaningful characters that everyone's going to grow into loving. But so far, I have heard the 105th version of Dream Believers, Hasunosora's main song, and unfortunately, Ceras and Izumi just don't make up for the presence and energy we lost with Kozue, Suzuri, and Megumi. I really wanted to feel something, but that performance left me feeling the absence more than me being excited. That said, however, I know reception will get warmer with time. It always does. And to be clear, I do not dislike Ceras or Izumi. I guess I was just expecting more, and that is not a dig at the voice actors or the characters, but more so I was expecting more from Love Live. This was a huge moment for Love Live, the first time they fully graduated both characters and their voice actresses. That is a big change, and it came with big expectations. But part of being a fan is hoping, so I hope these two will grow into their roles. I hope they'll surprise me, connect with fans, and help carry Hasunosora into its next chapter with a lot of heart and all the attention that this group truly deserves. Because even with all of my concerns, I still believe in what Love Live can be, and I absolutely believe that Ceras and Izumi will be a good fit. It's just going to take time to get used to them. But other than that, very happy for them to finally be integrated into the group, and I look forward to their first album coming out. Thank you to those who made it this far into the video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I would really love to hear how you guys felt about the reveal of our new Hasu members. And please, please, please tell me your opinions, because I just love hearing other opinions. So feel free to comment how you feel, or if you disagreed with any of my points, I would love to hear why, because I think it's always nice to hear a different point of view. And thank you guys so much.